Dr. Diego Galar is Professor of Condition Monitoring in the Division of Operation and Maintenance Engineering at LTU, Luleå University of Technology, where he is coordinating several projects related to different aspects of cyber physical systems, Industry 4.0, IoT, or industrial big data. He has authored more than 500 journal and conference papers, books, technical reports in the field of maintenance. In the international area, he has been visiting professor in the Polytechnic of Bragança, Portugal, University of Valencia in Spain, and NEU in USA, and Universidad Pontificia Católica de Chile. Currently, he is visiting professor in University of Sunderland, UK, University of Maryland, USA, and Chongqing University in China. Diego, are you ready?
Yes, thank you, Anna, for the introduction.
Perfect. Let's start. With such a complex operation and that many providers to manage out there, how will you do it? And how you overcome this challenge?
Yeah, it's talking about the industry 5.0 is always very challenging because we have to remember that we have had 1 decade of industry 4.0 in 10 years from 2011 until now, 10, 11 years. We have progressed a lot in terms of enabling technologies for manufacturing, for quality control, but of course, for maintenance technology, we have progressed a lot in terms of technology. But during this decade, let me say that we have abandoned the human aspect to some extent and the sustainability dimension of the maintenance. And now is when these technologies that we have in place and they are proven as efficient and effective, we have to merge these technologies with the human and sustainability dimension. And I think the relation between facility managers and the companies is going to be driven by this kind of sustainability and human dimension that, of course, is based on technology that is already proven, is already successful, and now we have to develop this human and sustainability dimension that, unfortunately, during this decade, we have progressed a lot in the technological dimension. This is good, but of course, we cannot neglect that the humans and the environment is there, and maintenance is a. We will talk, of course, today, but it's a vector for sustainability, and we have to work on that.
Perfect, Diego. And having the right partners is more and more important for the success of facility and maintenance managers. That said, procurement is very relevant, but it's also one of the biggest challenges of a manager. How do you think, Diego, it can be improved and managed in order to reduce the hassle?
Actually, this is very interesting question because when we talk about Industry 4.0 and Industry 5.0, we talk in general about technology. All the time we are talking about artificial intelligence, about big data analytics, about IoT, and all the technologies that have taken over the industry. But the relation between the companies is crucial, and the business dimension of this revolution is important as well. What do I mean with that? Maintenance comes into the picture with the Industry 4.0, and not only to adapt and adopt several technologies that have been very successful, such as the artificial intelligence, IoT, or whatever. We have to talk about the concept of maintenance as a service. Then, maintenance as a service, the servitization in maintenance, comes into the picture in such a way that the relation between the companies, the relation between the managers is entirely different. What do I mean with that? In general, now we are talking about facility managers that they deal with not with products, they deal with functional products. And what they do is they establish some kind of relation with partners in order to buy the function of the product, and the maintenance of this product is back to the manufacturer. In few words, it's like when we rent a car, we are renting or we are buying the function of the car, but we don't take care of the maintenance of the rental car. And in this case, it's important because the technologies are helping the manufacturers and the designers of the assets to deliver the function in the customers. And in this way, the relation is dramatically different. It's like we are not in a normal relation where the facility managers they are buying products, etc. We are in the concept of maintenance as a service. And the Industry 4.0 has triggered a very, very profound change in the technology that is behind that. And the Industry 5.0 is going to trigger the business dimension of that, where the human relation is going to be entirely different. Because in this case, we have to be aware that when the facility managers they have this kind of partners, and as you say, Anna, the right partners are crucial, because the right partners they will help you to deliver, of course, the function, but also in a sustainable way, and having principles of circularity in terms of circular economy, etc. Because when the maintenance come back to the manufacturer, then the circularity in maintenance is much easier. But this is, as you said, very complex in terms of a different relationship between partners, and the kind of partnership that we are going to establish between the maintenance managers is different, because now we are talking about warranties, about insurance, about leasings. It's not a normal purchase procedure as used to be.
Mhm. Uh, and having all of that in mind, Diego, how can technology help improve this process and the collaboration between buyers and sellers?
Actually, this is as you say, this is really, really a transition for the market. It's a transition for the market, because now the companies we have to understand that after the Industry 4.0, the companies are going back to the core business. What do I mean with the core business? Is companies in general they had upon a time some maintenance teams to maintain their assets in a proper way, and was in general was in-house maintenance, the traditional maintenance teams maintaining their assets. Now we have the technologies that, like for example, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, etc. That these technologies they are allowing the manufacturer. Doesn't matter if the manufacturer is located in Europe, in US, or in China, but the manufacturer can monitor the asset wherever it is, in order to tell you, okay, you have a problem with this spare part, or you have a problem with this machine, you should do this, you should do that. Then the in-house maintenance with this kind of fire brigade that is running all over the factory, just doing firefighting, is something that belongs to the past. Now we have the manufacturers taking care of the complex maintenance of the assets with some kind of remote troubleshooting. This is very common now. And the end users, the customers, they are just taking care of the basic maintenance with TPM programs, with preventive maintenance, etc. But the relation is entirely different, because when, as manufacturer, I'm selling you some product, I'm not selling you some asset, I'm selling you the asset and the function. Then the maintenance, I take care of the complex things. And this relation is much stronger. It's much stronger because, in few words, the seller is not doing business twice with me, selling the asset and selling the maintenance. Now I'm sure that the seller is going to take care of this, of the function of the asset, and the relation is entirely different. This is thanks to the connectivity. We can say that we have this kind of remote maintenance and remote troubleshooting, and the end user can be focused on the core business, not on side business as maintenance used to be.
Right, Diego. That is very interesting, and we will talk more about that after this season. Okay. Relating the technology until now, how do you see like the technology that we have now is helping a facility manager and maintenance manager, and what do you think we can still improve?
Yeah, actually, We have to be aware that the technology during the decade of Industry 4.0, unfortunately, Anna, we have to be honest, and we had in 2011 many expectations with the technology, especially some technologies like artificial intelligence. We expected a lot from artificial intelligence. And many people used to say in 2011, okay, in 2020 we will have the machines running automated and without humans, and the artificial intelligence will take over all the decisions. Unfortunately, it's not like this. It's our expectations. We have to be realistic, and the expectations now are a bit lower than used to be 1 decade ago. Is for example, in terms of artificial intelligence, we have progressed a lot in terms of speeding up process that or they are either they were very tedious or very difficult for us. Artificial intelligence is helping us in the decision process because the artificial intelligence can keep up with a complexity that as humans we cannot. Then it's good as some kind of advisor role. But this advisory role of the artificial intelligence is not replacing the humans. This is important. And of course, we have a long way to go in terms, for example, of AI. The AI we have applied very successfully is many machine learning algorithms in our companies, but it's not still real AI. We have a long way to go, but we are paving the road in this way. Then I could say that in 10 years we have paved the road in such a way that we have good technologies, and now we have to deploy this and we have to scale it up. Remember that in most of the companies, what we have now are pilot cases of proof of concepts of most of these technologies. But once these technologies they are proven as successful, now it's time to scale it up, and populate these technologies all over our assets. And this is maybe the main challenge of this second decade, to populate and scale up the technologies that are successful. It's good that we are aware that, for example, the AI or the robotics performing maintenance, they are very good. We have, for example, these four legs robots, we have drones doing inspection, but it still is not populated all across the industry. Then we need some kind of a push to populate this and scale it up and go beyond the pilot case studies. Some of the technologies, unfortunately, they have not been very successful. This is, of course, we started in 2011 with a bunch of technologies, but there are many of them they were not that successful. And okay, it's we have to stop using these technologies. But still, you were asking me about the challenges. For me, the challenge of the digital transformation that maintenance and facility management has suffered during this decade is the data economy. Still, the industry is very reluctant to share data, and if we are not able to share data in order to leverage knowledge based on this data, if we want to work with independent silos and we don't want to share our data, local optimization definitely is much more inefficient than global optimization. Then to move forward quickly, definitely we need to overcome this with blockchain, with cyber security, whatever. But definitely we need to share data and overcome this kind of reluctances in terms of sharing data. Otherwise, the technology is will be useless for all of the users.
Yeah, that's very critical, right, Diego? Like the sharing data between companies, between partners, between customers, or between even colleagues, no, to be able to help each other is the most important, I think.
Yeah, actually, but is the most challenging in terms of our own feelings, that we feel bad sharing data because we have the feeling that we are revealing some secrets or something like this. But I
Mhm.
always, when I talk to my students or in the companies, I always put the same example. If you take the example of Tesla, for example, the cars that you have is all over the world deployed. You have to be aware that these cars, they are sharing not data, they are sharing models. And what do I mean with sharing models? Is actually, if you have a Tesla, for example, in Sweden, that the temperature is very low, and this Tesla is learning how to behave with icy roads, with the snow, with the harsh climate, etc. This Tesla learn how to do it. Okay, if we have 1 million of Tesla all over the world, and the Teslas have to get the optimized model one by one, will take years to get the optimum model. But if the Tesla in Sweden can share the model, not the data, with the Tesla in Canada, then when in Canada you have snow, automatically this Tesla will be knowledgeable enough to face the problem of snow, and the learning curve is much easier. Now let's think about our assets. If you have a centrifugal pump, you have a press machine, a machine tool, or whatever, definitely what is crucial is that similar machines should contribute to leverage knowledge to my machine. And then the learning curve will be much easier. If we accept that sharing models instead of sharing data, we all are winning because the learning process is much more efficient, definitely then we will get a much faster progress in terms of technology deployment. If we go for independent silos, definitely we are not going to have any kind of optimization. And I know that is difficult, but let's try to make some pedagogy in the industry saying that okay, it's a win-win. You don't compromise your security, you don't compromise your safety, but giving some models that you are training in your company, you may get back something else that is maybe useful for you. Because if we don't convince the companies about the importance of sharing knowledge, sharing models, not data that compromise the safety or security, sharing this knowledge is a win-win for everyone. If we don't do that, independent or isolated optimization is far from efficiency.
Yeah, that's uh, that's true. I totally agree with the Diego. I think you already answered some future insights, but how do you imagine the future of facility and maintenance management, Diego?
Yeah, actually, as you say, the facility and maintenance management has dramatically changed. This is we have to recall that upon a time the maintenance manager in one company was maybe the technician, the most clever technician was appointed as maintenance manager. Then was the chief of the fire brigade. Breakdown, then everyone running as a fire brigade to solve the problem. Now this has dramatically changed. Now we have people that, of course, they need to be educated people in terms of engineering, but in terms of maintenance practices, and of course, they have to deal with three dimensions. First, the technological dimension. A maintenance or facility manager needs to know the technologies. The technologies are enabling tools to get to achieve the goals much faster. Then now the maintenance manager needs to know about AI, about IoT, about big data, about robotics for maintenance. They need to know about that in order to deploy these techniques if he thinks that these techniques can foster some kind of improvement in the company. But also, the facility or maintenance manager needs to take care of the human dimension. The jobs in maintenance, they have changed. Now we don't need only technicians to fix the things. For example, some maintenance tasks, they are performed by robots, but we need other type of jobs. We need people to tackle with the AI in order to take the AI as advisory role to take some decisions. We need people to deal with data lakes, big data, etc., in order to create the data bunch for maintenance. Then these kind of jobs that are a mix of technology and maintenance, they are going to be there. And of course, we have to be aware that people shouldn't feel like, okay, the technology is going to replace the humans. This is not going to happen. The technology is going to change the way that the humans perform the job. And this is true. But maintenance is going to change, it's not going to vanish. And finally, the sustainability dimension. Facility managers and maintenance managers, they have to be aware that we are in a Green Deal economy in Europe, and in this Green Deal, maintenance is a vector for sustainability. Means that maintenance should contribute to the energy efficiency. A well-maintained company is consuming less energy. If you have a motor or one asset that is well maintained, the consumption in terms of energy is less. A well maintained asset has lower carbon emissions. The pollution created by well maintained assets is less. Then this contribution of maintenance to the sustainability is crucial in terms of spare parts, etc. We have to be aware that maintenance in this kind of circular economy, where we have to talk about life extension, our assets, we shouldn't do early replacement to get rid of the assets and get new ones, because this is increasing the waste and we cannot afford this kind of waste. Then, to some extent, the maintenance manager has to be concerned about this kind of sustainability dimension, circular economy, emissions, energy efficiency, etc. And finally, all these three dimensions are surrounded by the business dimension that now the maintenance or facility manager has to consider. The maintenance manager has to talk in terms of value creation and not cost center. And this is important. Maintenance is not a cost center anymore, because if you consider maintenance as a cost center, the trend is to cut it down until zero, because this is a cost center. But as a value driven, maintenance is contributing to the creation of value. Then it's important that the facility manager has all these dimensions in mind, because then they will be able to contribute to this society that is entirely different. It's actually, Anna, if you read now the EU policies, even the EU Parliament is talking about the need for maintenance for circular economy. Let me tell you that now there's in EU one movement approved by the EU Parliament, that is the right to repair. The right to repair is a very interesting thing. The EU Commission is pushing maintenance as a driver for sustainability in terms of replacement of the asset, repair as much as you can to extend the life of your asset and reduce the waste that you are producing. If we are considering this, and we see that 2023, the right to repair movement is in the parliament, in the EU Parliament, if we consider this, maintenance is growing in interest even in the EU Commission.
Thank you, Diego, very much. I really enjoyed this talk with interesting insights for the future of our industry, maintenance and facility management. And thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you, Anna. It's always a pleasure to be with you, and I'm really appreciate your invitation. Thank you.
Thank you. We wanted to understand your vision for the future of the sector, and we always enjoy bringing to these events people from leading research universities and companies to prepare us for the challenges that technology can help us overcome as FM and maintenance professionals. Thank you again, and coming up next, a new feature you won't want to miss. Stay with us and get ready for the big launch in 2023. Bye bye.